All right, today we're going to take apart something that seems pretty simple on the surface, but is actually incredibly complex, the Hermès leather belt. It's an accessory, sure, but it carries this massive story, and we're going to break down exactly what goes into that $1,000 price tag.
And yeah, that's the big question, right? How can a piece of leather and a metal buckle possibly cost more than a brand new iPhone? Well, the answer is way more interesting than you'd probably guess.
See, to really get it, you have to understand that the value here is built in layers. Each one has been meticulously crafted, some of them for nearly 200 years. It's pretty wild.
Okay, so first things first. Let's just dissect that price tag, because it's not some random number they pulled out of a hat. No, it's a very deliberate sum of some very, very specific parts.
The entire value of this brand really rests on these 4 pillars. We're going to start with the stuff you can actually see and feel, and then we'll move into the invisible stuff, the powerful, intangible ideas that really define what Hermès is all about.
So let's start with the basics. What is this belt actually made of? Because the quality of anything from Hermes begins way, way before an artisan even touches it.
The star of the show here is often this stuff called Barenia calfskin. And this isn't just any old leather. It's basically the soul of the brand, originally used for saddles. Its most famous quality is that it develops a patina, which just means it absorbs the oils and little scratches from your life, creating a finish that's 100% unique to you.
And making this leather, wow, it's a whole process. First, they only pick the most flawless hides. Then it's double tanned. And then it gets submerged for over a month in this secret recipe of 9 different oils. That's what gives it that famous buttery feel and makes it so water resistant. And they don't stop there. Even the buckle is like totally over-engineered in the best way possible. It's plated with palladium. That's a precious metal in the platinum family. And they chose it because it's way harder than gold and doesn't scratch or tarnish easily. That buckle is literally designed to look brand new for decades.
Okay, so we've got these incredible materials. But now let's talk about the hands that shape them. This is where Hermès truly separates itself from pretty much every other brand on the face of the earth.
This quote right here, it's basically their entire mission statement. They look at the slowness and inefficiency of making things by hand not as a problem, but as their single greatest strength. It's a strategic choice.
And to put that into perspective for you, a single artisan might spend up to 48 hours, that's more than a full work week, on just one handbag. That incredible cost of time and skill is baked into every single item they sell, including this belt.
Now, their most famous technique is the saddle stitch. This comes directly from their history of making horse saddles and harnesses where, a weak stitch could be a really big problem. A machine can't do it, and its strength is legendary for one very specific reason.
Okay, so check this out. This is why it's so much better. A machine uses what's called a lock stitch. If one thread breaks, the whole thing can just unravel in a chain reaction. But with the hand-done saddle stitch, every single stitch is its own independent knot. If one somehow breaks, the rest of the seam just holds tight. It's not going anywhere.
And this obsession with detail just keeps going, right down to the very edge of the belt. There's a process called asticage, where they sand, dye, heat, and then polish the edge with beeswax over and over again until it's perfectly smooth, tough, and completely waterproof.
So we've got amazing materials, and we've got insane, unparalleled craftsmanship. But the next layer of value is something that no amount of money can buy. It's almost 200 years of history.
You have to remember, this brand didn't start as a fashion house. No way. Back in 1837, it was a master harness workshop for the nobility of Europe. The quality of their work wasn't about style, it was about safety, literally life and death. When cars came along, they cleverly pivoted, applying that exact same standard of quality to handbags, and then finally, in 1967, to the famous H buckle belt.
And that brings us to the last piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. It's a business strategy that turns basic supply and demand into pure, unadulterated desire.
So Hermès basically plays by a completely different set of rules than, well, anyone. They don't have a marketing department, they don't pay celebrities to wear their stuff, they never have sales, and you can only buy their products in a handful of stores around the world. Every single one of these rules is designed to protect one thing: exclusivity.
All of this creates this thing that insiders and clients call the Hermès game. If you want to be offered the chance to buy one of their most famous handbags, you can't just walk in with cash. You have to build a relationship, a purchase history. And that suddenly turns other items, like belts and scarves, into more than just products.
They become strategic moves, keys that might unlock an even more exclusive world.
All right, so where does all this history, this craft, this scarcity, where does it fit into the bigger picture of luxury today? Well, that brings us to this really fundamental split in the market.
See, in the world of high-end goods, there are basically two camps. On one side, you have quiet luxury, where the value comes from the inside, from the materials, the time, the skill. And on the other side, you've got logomania, where the value is all on the outside. It's about showing off the brand name. Hermès is and always has been the absolute king of quiet luxury.
And when you put them side by side like this, the difference is it's night and day. You've got hand-stitched, full-grain leather on one side versus mass-produced, often coated canvas on the other. One is seen as a timeless investment, something you pass down. The other is a fashion statement, a way to get instant clout.
So here's the bottom line, really. The Hermès belt, with that special patina it develops, is literally designed to become a unique reflection of its owner's life, to tell your personal story. A big logo belt, on the other hand, is designed to tell the exact same story, to everyone, no matter who's wearing it.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. When you look at that price tag, what are you actually seeing? Is it just an expensive way to hold up your pants? Or is it the sum of all its parts? A legacy of life-for-death craftsmanship, the best materials you can find, and an investment in a piece of history that's designed to outlive you.